2 minutes.
Thank you very much, President. Commissioner, dear colleagues. I would like to mention one point from this excellent report by our colleague Mr. Coelho, which I think is very important. In the report, it says that the number of tenders with one bid between 2006 and 2016 rose from 14% to 29%. So essentially, a third of all tenders only receive one bidder. And to be honest, I think that's really quite alarming. And I thought about why that might be. So perhaps we need to bear in mind that for SMEs, simply there is too much of an administrative burden to participate in these tenders. You were saying that you've set up a new school. We want to increase that number of 5 million Europe-wide, and I think there is an immense amount of public procurement across Europe, but when there are very few local companies applying for these bids, well, you have to wonder, do we have to have this all Europe-wide? And I think what you have to emphasise when it comes to public procurement is that you have to bear in mind the burden on contracting authorities. And I'd be very pleased if, perhaps not in the foreseeable future, but when we come to revising the rules on public procurement, perhaps then we could look at the threshold values and discuss those. I think it's a very good tool. We need transparency. We need fair competition in public procurements. But it simply cannot be that a third of all tenders are ultimately not receiving any bids. We have to think about why that is exactly. And I think that in terms of works contracts in particular, there is a real need for certain amendments, because otherwise it doesn't make sense when building schools in my region of Bavaria to have contractors from Cyprus or Portugal or elsewhere. So perhaps you could take that into account in the next revision. Thank you.
Thank you very much.